Hello everyone. This podcast on flow state and the creative process is part of a series of materials produced within the Erasmus Plus project Action 2, Find Your Talent, Work on Your Skills, which unfolded between 2019 and 2022 with the involvement and support and lots of work from a wonderful team of youth workers and young people from the Netherlands, Belgium, Poland and Romania. More details on our project in the description below. Now, when we talk about flow state, we mention, of course, the creator of this concept, Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, a university teacher and psychologist who wrote one of his most popular books, Flow, The Psychology of Optimal Experience. According to him, happiness is not a fixed state but can be developed as we learn to achieve flow in our lives. The key aspect to flow is control. In this flow-like state, we exercise control over the contents of our consciousness rather than allowing ourselves to be passively determined by external forces. As he writes, the best moments usually occur when a person's body or mind is stretched to its limits in a voluntary effort to accomplish something difficult and worthwhile. Optimal experience is thus something we make happen. Therefore, when we are absorbed in things that we're doing, for example, cooking, surfing on Instagram, taking photos, playing, meditating, sometimes we realize we are completely absorbed in the activity and we lose completely the track of time. Perhaps sometimes you have even failed to notice if you are thirsty or hungry or that your hands are aching from typing so much and nothing else seems to matter. If you have ever experienced such a state, then you were into this flow state that Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi explains. The concept of flow came up to the researcher in the 1960s when he was researching the creative process. He then realized from the interviews with numerous artists that many of them would often ignore tiredness or any type of discomfort while working on a painting or a musical piece, yet lost interest in the piece as soon as the work was finished. His subjects clearly found their artistic processes rewarding enough in themselves, and in describing their state of mind and experiences while in the creative process, almost all of them used the metaphor of a current playfully carrying them along while they were doing the activity at hand. This is flow. Flow is an experience that falls in just the right space between boredom and anxiety. You're not bored while doing it, you're not super anxious, but you're very engaged and challenged in what you do. And because this state of flow is rewarding, you obviously want to repeat this activity. However, Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi describes the existence of a paradox. As we master a new skill, facilitating, writing, speech making, painting, drawing, etc., our experience of flow diminishes because the task at hand is no longer stimulating and demanding. Therefore, in order to maintain flow, we have to continually test in more and more challenging activities, which implies perseverance, focus, discipline. It also means that we need to stretch our skills and attitude as well as knowledge and find new ways to use them. This is great because it means we're in a continuous development, growing and becoming more competent. So basically, each of us has the potential to get into a state of flow in a various hobby or activity. It's just a matter also of finding which is that activity or hobby or work that takes you into this flow state. When it comes to young people, it has been discovered that those young people, children who at the age of 13 had already identified their talents, whether in music, maths or football, as a source of flow, and who experienced relatively more flow and anxiety during school activities were more likely to stay committed to their talent through their teen years and then to continue to develop their talents and to expand their ability. Another very positive side of flow state is that it's not influenced so much by the others. We don't take our motivation from external recognition, but rather we enjoy what we do, we enjoy the challenge, and therefore we keep ourselves motivated intrinsically. We have this motivation within us that gets built and helps us move further and further away. How can we increase this flow experience? Well, first of all, we need to control our attention, to be permanently focused on what we do, and this is not always easy in the modern world. But the most creative people will not do artworks while, for example, while talking on the phone with more people, or they will not compose a great musical play while watching TikTok. They will focus their full attention to the task at hand and make their best to be there and to be present. Also, another way to increase our flow experience is, just as we mentioned earlier, to learn what flows, to see what is it that makes us challenged, not bored, not anxious, but curious and focused on the present moment. Adopting new values, opening your mind to knowledge, opening your mind to new ideas is also one way of getting into a flow state. Also, when it comes to conversation, talking to new people or talking to the same people that we know, listening more than talking, having your complete attention to what the other person says, it's another way to find out new ideas and maybe to structure yourself in a different way and to acquire new mentalities and skills and abilities. Smart leisure is also another thing that helps us become more creative, but also get into a deeper state of flow. What is smart leisure? As I mentioned, many people actually get most of their flow state at work because they have that ability to somehow navigate between boredom and anxiety and do things that they find challenging. While when it comes to leisure activities, free time activities, we often do the same things again and again, watching Netflix or sitting on the couch. If you get in yourself in activities that are fun, pleasurable, but also challenging, maybe some sports, maybe going out, traveling, making some pictures, or whatever ticks your buttons, then you will have the ability to reach that state of flow. Mihaly comes with another definition of flows as, I quote, a state in which people are so involved in an activity that nothing else seems to matter. They experience it so enjoyable that people will continue to do it even at a great cost for the sheer sake of doing it. While St. Mihaly's research focuses on the area of work and creative output, he sees that the state of flow is applicable to relationships and situations. Even times of adversity can transform into a challenge rather than a setback. He even concludes that there are people who have developed their flow to such an extent that they are able to translate every potential threat into an enjoyable challenge and thereby maintain an inner tranquility as a continuous state of mind. He calls such a person an autotelic self, someone who is never bored, seldom anxious, involved with what goes on, and in a flow most of the time. Now, one might think that such a state is reserved for the few great human beings such as Socrates, Gandhi, or the Dalai Lama. But in fact, there are lots of ordinary people who are able to find delight in ordinary daily tasks, and each of us has probably met such persons who enjoy hugely doing gardening, fixing cars, writing, being teachers, and so on. What it's important for us, and with this we conclude, is that you need to identify what brings you this flow state, as flows having state the state of flow is a main ingredient to happiness, and to be able to cultivate yourself so that you are in this state flow as much as possible. And just like the gardener or Dalai Lama or Gandhi, to become more happy and to give strength and power to yourself, but also to expand towards the world and do good things for the people around you as well. Thank you.